the National Football League.
Mostly cloudy, 49 degrees at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati. If John Fox and the Broncos win, they clinch a bye, alive for the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs. They're already in. Marvin Lewis and Cincinnati get into the playoffs. If they win tonight, they can win the division only with a win next week at Pittsburgh. If the Bengals win, not only do they get in, but New England clinches the #1 seed in the AFC. Toss won by Denver, deferred to the second half, so the leading kickoff return man in the NFL. Adam Jones set to bring it back. Brandon McManus set to kick it off for Denver. Final act of Week 16. 17 games left to the playoffs, and a big one here in Cincinnati. Jones won't bring it back. As with most McManus kickoffs, it's a touchdown. So Andy Dalton's been here in Cincinnati since the Bengals took him in the second round in 2011. Every year he's been in, he's taken his team to the playoffs. John trying to do it again and get win 40 of his career.
Yes, and under offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson, this is a run-first offense, and it's important they have success running the football. Eric Winston at right tackle has only been here for 10 days.
Opening drive through 20, a lot of bodies come to the right for the rookie Hill. And Denver knows he's going to get the ball. TJ Wharton, Von Miller stop him, no gain.
Denver Broncos have the #2 rushing defense in football, led by Terrence Knighton, their star defensive tackle. And DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller get a lot of attention as pass rushers, but both of these men are outstanding run defenders, and they set the edge extremely well, forcing the ball back inside.
Ryan Hewitt, the fullback, comes to block. Hill with a cut-up field for a gain of 3 yards. Point out a couple of things here for the Bengals. John mentioned it. Eric Winston, out of football most of the year, is now the starting right tackle. Played a bit last week. Whitworth's their best. He's the left tackle. You'll see Hill is the feature back. Giovanni Bernard in third down situations. A.J. Green's back from his injury, his toe injury earlier this year, and he's back to A.J. Green form. Hugh Jackson says, I go to that guy, our best receiver, in the big spots, and he comes up with big plays. 3rd and 7. Empty backfield. Dalton's got a crosser. It's Gresham, who's short of the first down. He's 2 yards short as Todd Davis, the rookie out of Sacramento State, who starts this week because of Denver injuries, makes the tackle, and Gresham's slow to get up.
And that's impressive tackling by the Broncos. Davis, rookie Bradley Roby, gang tackle Gresham short of the first down. 3 and out, Mike, and that's what the Bronco defense does better than any group in football.
Last few weeks, Wes Welker's become the punt return man. Kevin Huber is the best next in the NFL with a high snap, able to get it off. It deflects off of a Broncos player, or rather a Bengals player at the 38. And Welker finally gets on it over at the 29-yard line. Let's see where that ball will be marked. It will be marked at the 38. But you saw the pressure off the high snap as Denver's David Bruton Jr., outstanding special teamer, got in there. Bill Vinovich, our referee tonight.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 36. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
It's on Kayvon Webster. It's a big flag. It'll push the Broncos back as Peyton Manning gets set to come out. Let's look at the hold. Darquez Denard, the gunner, is grabbed and brought down. So Manning will start from his own 20. And Cincinnati being heard in this opening drive.
Already have 6 offensive linemen on the field, Mike. This is an area that Denver has gone to in recent weeks to run the football.
And from the 20, Manning pressured, puts it up in the air, and it's caught for the first down by Sanders across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Bearing down on Manning was Wallace Gilberry, but he got it away for 21 yards.
They're lucky they avoided a catastrophe here. Pressure comes right up the middle. And Peyton Manning gets hit as he delivers this ball. Anticipation paramount here, and Emmanuel Sanders on a deep cross gets a first down for Denver.
Now you see why they're running the ball so much. This offensive line not as good as those that have protected Manning before. To the ground, the 41. C.J. Anderson, maybe a yard, maybe two. Ray Maualuga makes the tackle. And John, this is the king of the road as Peyton Manning makes his 255th NFL start. He has the most road wins in NFL history.
And look where he is. He's in the huddle. This is a complete change for Peyton Manning. It's not a no-huddle, up-tempo offense anymore. It's a ball control system. They've averaged only 55 plays a game the last 2 weeks. And I think this is an area where Peyton's struggling a little bit in this slowed-down rhythm.
Again, 6 offensive linemen to block. Anderson made the first man miss, gets it to the 46-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 4 yards. Talking with this offensive line, John detailed the changes to that group at the Oakland game, the one after the loss to New England, allowing the skill position players to get out there. The 3 receivers, Welker, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, tight end Julius Thomas, not all the way back on that left ankle injury that has limited him, but you'll see him in key spots tonight. He's up at the top of the screen, number 80. 3rd and 5, and Manning throws towards Thomas, nearly intercepted, and they have Terrence Newman, a corner over there, covering the tight end by name in Thomas.
Defensive coordinator Paul Gunther with a lot of disguises. It's Terrence Newman one-on-one with Julius Thomas. And that's what Marvin Lewis wants to do, get 4 corners on the field, big corners. Newman, Kirkpatrick, use Leon Hall inside, and they like those matchups against these big Denver receivers.
Britton Cole quick to kick it away. Brandon Tate back to receive. They'll let it go. And they won't be able to bring it down inside the goal line. Kick was 54, the net was 34. Manning had 1 first down on the drive. Denver ball when we come back. To the north of us from Paul Brown Stadium, downtown Cincinnati. John Fox had a moment with Bill Vinovich and 3 of the other officials. Conversation over on the Broncos sideline. That is broken up. And this will be the 3rd drive of the game, all 3 starting at the team's own 20-yard line. One thing Cincinnati's done, these struggles in primetime games and playoff games since Dalton and Green have been here. 4 early starts. Dalton slant, deflected. Talib, unbelievable. One-hand interception by Aqib Talib. Inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, Talib. And that's the problem. They've turned it over too often in these big spots, and Dalton gets a pick 6, and Green is hurt.
Aqib Talib, AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week, and you see why. It's a slant route, the ball's thrown high, it's tipped and intercepted by Talib, and he was an outstanding offensive player at Kansas, and he showcases his stuff right there. Touchdown, Denver. Poor throw by Andy Dalton. You expose your receiver in the middle of the field, and there's T.J. Ward, one of the biggest hitters in pro football. Let's hope A.J. Green is all right. But it's this Denver defense, Mike, that has made a huge impact.
That'll be an interesting one, John, because as he catches it, the ball, the nose of the ball hits the ground and then moves. If you can keep firm control underneath with the hand there.
The previous play is under review.
And it doesn't move, then they would keep it an interception. It can touch the ground as long as you have control. Meantime, there's major concern about Green with the Ward hit. It's a turnover and a score, automatically being reviewed. Ruled a touchdown on the field. Bill Vinovich has just completed his look in consultation with the Game Day Central League office in New York.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Interesting. It stands. When the tip of the ball hits the ground, it moves. The question is the control. Does he maintain the control with his hand with pressure on the ball? And again, it was a call that stood, not a call that was confirmed. So it had to be 100% evidence that you saw that it should be incomplete. So the call stands on the field. It's a 33-yard pick six for Talib. His second pick six of the year. Connor Barth adds the extra point. It's 7-0, and Cincinnati also has the concern of A.J. Green, who took that exposed shot, John, that you said by the safety Ward.
Also poor throw. A.J. goes up to get it. It's a legal hit by T.J. Ward. And Mike, in big games, the Cincinnati Bengals have struggled. That's all we've heard since we've been in town. And the big reason for that is they can't start games. In a catastrophic error by Dalton at home, you don't want to fall behind to this Bronco pass rush and Peyton Manning.
And Lisa Salters down on the sideline watching what they're doing with A.J. Green.
Well, Mike, A.J. Green is still over here on the bench. It looks like they're working on his right shoulder. We don't have any official word on what the injury is, but the injury happened right in front of me. I saw the look of just pain and discomfort on his face when he came off of the field, and he has had that same look on his face, and even right now as they're working on him.
You can see the team medical staff was all over there in consultation, and their long looks as well. A.J. Green, such an impact receiver for this team, one of the top receivers in the categories you look at since he came in the league 4 years ago. And when he was out with a toe injury, they relied on Mohamed Sanu to become their top pass catching threat. But you take A.J. Green out of the lineup, and man, you've got issues. Adam Jones on the return, strung out nicely and brought down to the 15-yard line by Andre Caldwell of Denver. What we were talking about, John, these primetime and playoff games, the 2-9 record, when broken down with Andy Dalton, low completion percentage relative to the league average and more touchdowns than interceptions. And you know the two Houston games and the San Diego wild card weekend losses the last 3 years, the major mistakes. And that was a deflected ball, but as you said, that's too high. You've got to deliver that slant on time and on target.
Well, you can't throw the ball in the middle of the field high, or your receiver will pay for it. Let's hope Green is okay. Important. Dalton gets out of the funk here.
Dane Sanzenbacher, the former Ohio State Buckeye, comes out as the third receiver. They run with the rookie Hill to the right, who's into the secondary, and there goes Jeremy Hill midfield, using Sanu, accelerating. Hill is gone. Touchdown.
Jeremy Hill shows his vision, speed, and strength on an 80-yard touchdown run. It's a counter play. You're going to see left guard Clint Bowling, left tackle Andrew Whitworth pull. Good patience by Hill, missed tackle. And how about this finishing speed? Nice downfield block by Mohamed Sanu, and Jeremy Hill is closing in on 1,000 yards. Hard to do against the number 2 rushing defense in football. An 80-yard house call.
And Giovanni Bernard had a long touchdown run this year of 89. Jeremy Hill adds his long run to that. Hugh Jackson over for a word with the rookie out of LSU. 55th pick taken in the most recent draft. He's electrified this crowd. Now Mike Nugent to tie the game. Electrifying back-to-back snaps. 23 seconds after the Talib pick six. Jeremy Hill is heard from. Our game's tied at 7. How about 85 yards from Hill after the pick six thrown by Andy Dalton, taken by Aqib Talib. They continue to look at the right arm of A.J. Green as the man who stepped stepped in that big spot next to him as the top runner, really giving this Cincinnati offense a jolt. At John, a time they really needed it, because all these players and coaches, they've heard the conversation all week about their poor starts and their turnovers in these big stage games. They knew they couldn't be in a hole, and that was a big play for the Bengals. Mike Nugent's kicking off to Omar Bolden of Denver. And Bolden past the 20. He'll be tackled at 23. Let's go back to that touchdown run.
Well, it's a counter play, and you're going to see Jeremy Hill miss tackles 51. Davis, 26, Raheem Moore. And Jeremy Hill, 85 yards against a number 2 ranked run defense. And there's Von Miller, number 58, getting blown up in the hole. The ball bounces outside, and there's Raheem Moore, 26. He's got to make that tackle. Here's Peyton Manning.
Taking over from their own 22, and they'll respond with a run. And it's a good one for C.J. Anderson. Very close to the first down. Second-year back out of Cal. Another undrafted player who's come in and emerged. You remember the running back depth chart here. You had Monte Ball. You had Ronnie Hillman, who's out again tonight. 6th straight game. He's missed. As Hillman gets closer to health, Anderson, who was just a bit player, has become a lead player in this Denver run-based attack the last 4 weeks. Officially a gain of 9. Now he'll try to pick up the first down on his own, and they'll get it. He'll be at the 33-yard line. Ray Maluga in there on the tackle. Let's introduce you to the Cincinnati defense. Good up front, the best pass rusher, Carlos Dunlap. Linebackers, bit of concern with the loss of Vontaze Burfict. Ray Maluga calls the signals. It's a secondary with a bunch of number 1 picks, former first-rounders in the lineup. Manning throws to the other side, and blanketed was Demaryius Thomas. It's incomplete. We show those 2 corners who start, John. Adam Jones was out there in coverage. He's another former first-round pick that they have at their disposal against Denver.
Well, they've got 6 first-rounders in their secondary. Pac-Man Jones, Adam Jones plays right corner in the nickel. They put Leon Hall inside on Wes Welker, and Anthony Newman is at the top of the screen against Emmanuel Sanders. They like their matchups.
Maluga kind of peering in, changing the call. Cincinnati moving its look against Manning. Anderson had nowhere to go. Carlos Dunlap had it strung out, and it's a loss of yardage.
That's just great defense by Cincinnati. They show a double A gap blitz, and then they stem out of the blitz. And then Peyton Manning has to run the play against a look that he didn't want to run the ball against. So Cincinnati is showing them one thing, and right before the ball is snapped, they shift 7 of their defenders, and they've confused Denver twice.
6 defensive backs, 3rd and 13. See them all drifting out. It's a 4-man rush. Manning set up the screen to Anderson, trying to pick his way through. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down at the 41-yard line. Taylor Mays helped make the stop. He's going to play a big role tonight. Former USC safety.
I promise you, Peyton Manning will go right to the sideline, get with offensive coordinator Adam Gase, and take a look at some of the deployments that the Bengals have shown him on the first 2 series. A lot of movement, a lot of disguises, and they've disarmed Denver.
A little frustration you see on the sideline with the offensive coaching staff. Brittany Cole quit for the 2nd time. Jones takes it on the hop as it comes back to him at the 15 with his back to the on-charging Broncos. Secures it with just 1 yard on the return. We'll talk about what the Bengals are doing, trying to mix up the looks against Manning. John, for years we've seen Peyton Manning confound the opponent at the line of scrimmage. It's being done to him here tonight.
Oh, look at this. They show him a double A gap blitz. Then they stem into an odd look, and they show 3 blitzers on the right of the screen. Then they bail out of that, And they bring 2 off the left side, just a 4-man rush, incomplete pass. And on the last series, they fooled him again. But Peyton Manning is going to continue to study it, see if he can make the adjustments. And defensive coordinator Paul Gunther and his Bengals are excited. Anytime you can fool Peyton Manning, that'll get you excited. They're going to have to keep mixing it up. You don't want the sheriff to get a beat on you.
A.J. Green still on the bench. Hill had the touchdown a moment ago. That time Sylvester Williams on the other side of the line. Loss of about 3.
Sylvester Williams, another first-round draft choice. The ex-Carolina Tar Heel, number 92. Very good run defender. He and Terrence Knighton shed blocks, try to keep their linebackers free. That time, nice penetration. 2nd and long.
3 receivers with Sanzenbacher, Mohamed Sanu, and Brandon Tate. This is Gresham, the tight end. His game limited to a yard as Aqib Talib made the stop again.
Well, these disguises on both teams are fooling both quarterbacks.
And the Denver defense in that mode as well. DeMarcus Ware, it's a pass rush situation. He and Von Miller off of opposite sides. Verdi called Todd Davis, who's in the lineup because of multiple injuries to the linebacker spot. To leave as the pick 6. He, Ward, Moore, and Harris to be well represented, one would imagine, on the Pro Bowl teams that get announced here tomorrow. 3rd and 12, Bernard is the back. Dalton gets it to Gresham, little middle screen for the tight end. Very close to the first down. It's up to the line judge, Mark, and he gives it to him. First down, Cincinnati.
That's a good call by Cincinnati. It's just out of respect to this Denver pass rush. They're going to fake a little quick screen over here to Giovanni Bernard, and they just throw a tight end screen to Jermaine Gresham. You see number 61, the rookie center, Bo Dine, get a block downfield, and good conservative call, a screen in long yardage to neutralize this Denver pass rush.
Bernard's going to stay as the back. Sanzenbacher across the middle as the first down at the 38-yard line. 8th catch of the year for Dane Sanzenbacher.
I like the way you say that, Sanzenbacher. And there's A.J. Green trying to get himself loose on the sideline. Looks like there's a chance he will return.
It's the first time he's gotten off the bench since the injury on that pick 6. And now that wrap around the bicep area in the arm. He's put the gloves on. Going to try to catch a few passes here. Push off a little bit, see what kind of strength he has in that right arm. Bernard. Oh, the big man was there. Pot roast, Terrence Knighton. Somebody else going to get credit for the tackle, but Knighton blocked out the sun for the running back.
Is he really 335 pounds? Watch his get off. Incredible hand usage. He can go from gap to gap in a hurry, and that's what they've done an excellent job of. Shutting you out on early downs and getting you in these 2nd and long situations. Let's see if they can unleash Ware and Von Miller at the bottom of the screen.
2nd and 11. Flip it out to Bernard. Couldn't get out to his tight end Hewitt, blocking for him, and it'll be no gain for Giovanni Bernard in his 2nd year out of North Carolina. Missed 3 games in the middle of this year with a hip and clavicle injury. Really good impact last year, Johnny. Was a top receiver out of the backfield for this team. But with his size, the feeling that maybe he can't be the every down between the tackles back. So a good balance with the rookie Hill now and Bernard.
Now, that's a nice way of saying we're playing Hill because he's a better runner. 3rd and long, and you got to be careful with this pass rush.
Getting out of his hands quick. It's Bernard again, being tracked and chased down by Chris Harris Jr. The Broncos just gave him 5 years and $42 million. He's gone from undrafted player to excellent corner for Denver.
Well, Cincinnati's going to have to do more than throw screen passes. That's the 4th screen in the 1st quarter. You're going to see Bernard slide across the formation. And Denver does an excellent job rallying to the screening back. Harris, Roby, collision tackle. Here's Hubert.
Snap was high last time. This time, good pass back to the Cincinnati native Huber. Welker from the 9 gets what he can and gets out of bounds. And Denver will start inside of its own 20. Another first-round corner. Dre Kirkpatrick on special teams. Peyton's undefeated against the Bengals, trying to get number 9 here tonight. Trip across the bridge from Kentucky into Ohio at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Carlos Dunlap is the top sack man for the home team. He's got 7 this year. He's an MVP of the national championship game when he played in Florida, second-round pick. And John, this is the guy whose engine has to start for this Cincinnati defense to be a high-impact defense.
Yes, it does. He's improved as a run defender, and they need him to tee off tonight.
10th play for Denver. It's the 6th run, and it's all Anderson on the carries. Pulled back. Malaluga and Ialoka with the tackle, with a gain of about 7 on first down.
This running game is much more extensive than I've seen it in the last 3 years since Peyton Manning's been in Denver. You see counter plays, misdirection runs, a lot of different types of plays in this Bronco running game, and they're using 6 offensive linemen. Peyton Manning's got to be careful what audibles he gets to with an extra tackle playing tight end.
Getting the extra offensive lineman out there. Anderson, that time denied by Vincent Ray. He missed the end of the Cleveland game after taking a hit to the head.
What a great story Vincent Ray is. Vontaze Burfict, over 200 tackles, is out. They need somebody to step up at inside linebacker. And Vincent Ray, the ex-Duke Blue Devil, leads Cincinnati in tackles.
And here we go again. It's 3rd and long, and again it's 6 DBs.
Watch these Bengals move around in an attempt to confuse Peyton Manning and their protection.
See the signals being communicated. Manning quickly gets it out, gets it to Sanders, and Manuel goes nowhere. Reggie Nelson forces the 3 and out. Cincinnati.
There's another first-round draft choice, and Reggie Nelson has lateral range, and he's a very good tackler. He's going to come from inside out and wrap up Emmanuel Sanders. They disguised the overload blitz to Peyton Manning's left. Manning thought he had the perfect play, and it's almost like Reggie Nelson had the Denver playbook. Cincinnati has a beat on Denver throughout the first quarter. I'm impressed.
Burton Colquitt kicking to Adam Jones. The kick is 49. Jones made one-man miss, picking up blocks down the sideline. Adam Jones. Good return to the 45-yard line of Denver. That'll be the best starting field position of the night.
Adam Jones, he does it as a kick returner and a punt return. What a weapon he is on special teams. And he sets up Cincinnati with great field position.
Good news for Cincinnati. Good field position when we come back. Just 12 plays and 45 yards for Denver so far.
Well, Cincinnati's got a beat on him. Watch all these Bengals on the left side of the screen, and as soon as Manning signals, they're all going to take off to the right. They know what the play is. It's almost like they know Manning signals, and Reggie Nelson read his tip sheet. The Bengals have something on the Broncos in the first quarter. I'm anxious to see the adjustments on that Denver sideline. Paul Gunther's done a great job, the defensive coordinator of the Bengals.
Saw Paul over there to the left. He had the white sleeves and the vest on. A.J. Green back on the field for Cincinnati. Here's Jeremy Hill running left. There were a couple of Broncos making the stop there, just a gain for 2 yards as we get to the end of the first quarter.
You know, we had this Jeremy Hill in the Outback Bowl, Mike. He was the MVP of the game in Tampa, and he has picked up right where he left off. What a year it is for LSU Tigers. I'm watching Odell Beckham and Landry down in Miami. Jeremy Hill, that might be a job we look at trying to get down there at LSU. Go coach those guys.
No, you're here now. Weren't you here last week? You're staying here now for a while.
You imagine having that kind of talent in college football?
And of course, Zach Mettenberger got hurt.
That's right.
And he went late in the draft, and he's the starter now at Tennessee. Hurt at the end of the year. All even at 7 after 1 in Cincinnati.
ESPN celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Back in Cincinnati, all tied at 7. The 2 touchdowns came within a 23-second stretch. The Broncos, 12 plays and 45 yards. The Bengals getting most of their yards on that 85-yard touchdown by the rookie Jeremy Hill. Cincinnati is the best field position any of the 8 drives of the game. 1-yard gain on first down. This is second down. Fake to Green, gives to Hill to the left, and he's close to the first down, about a yard short as Talib makes his 3rd tackle of the opening half.
Good to see A.J. Green back in there. They use him as a diversion on a fake end around. Try to slow down the backside pursuit, and they give Hill the football to set up a short yardage situation. And here comes the big boys for the Denver Broncos. Ware and Knighton give Denver some girth inside. Let's see if Andy Dalton, who likes to take shots in these short yardage situations against one-on-one coverage, gives A.J. Green a look.
Green's over the top of the screen, defended by Aqib Talib. Dalton just trying to sneak it forward. Keeps going. Since he's laying on other bodies, he can still advance. And we'll see where the line judge marks it. Saying that he's short, and first down marker's sitting right at the 35-yard line, right where that yellow line is, and it'll be 4th down. So what do you do here? Field goal would be 53 yards for Mike Nugent. Play clock's already running. Now they've repumped it back up to 25 seconds as Marvin Lewis faces the choice and says, let's go.
Oh, he's going to go for it. Here comes Andy Dalton. Ryan Hewitt at fullback. Been an excellent lead blocker. You have a hot tailback. I say run behind your best blockers. That would be Kevin Zeitler. Number 68 at right guard.
Turnbull hands a Hill. Second effort gets the first down. The other tight end, Kevin Brock, was pushed back onto their side of the line of scrimmage, but Hill kept the feet moving.
Hill is showing me something, Mike. This is an impressive short yardage run. Gresham gets stuffed right into the backfield, and Jeremy Hill keeps his feet alive in the hole and surges for a critical first down.
All 3 tight ends, Brock, Hewitt, and Gresham, stopped. But what do they say about this 6'1", 235 running back? Those legs give him that power-speed combination, and we've seen both on display in this first half. Now at the 34, it's a first down play action toss to Gresham. Made a man miss, got to the 30-yard line. Jermaine Gresham, who was inactive last week because of a toe injury, and folks were disappointed. They thought he was going to try to push through the injury, and right before kick he said, I can't go. And they get him back in the lineup here tonight.
Well, 7.4 yards a catch. He has not been the vertical threat that they had hoped he would be, but some of that is by design. Second is 6.
Shotgun run. Good patient move by Hill. It's so nice as it just jump cuts to the right, accelerates forward, and gets another first down.
Creative design and how Cincinnati blocks the backside. That time Jermaine Gresham comes across the formation and cuts down Von Miller. That's a nice cutback run by Jeremy Hill. This is tough on any defensive end when a big tight end crosses the formation and you don't see him coming.
Over 100 yards already. From the 23, a first down. Dalton throws, scrambling. On the move, he fires, and incomplete. John, everywhere 18 in black is, 21 in white is. What a matchup of A.J. Green and Aqib Talib we're watching here tonight.
Not only that, Mike, I love the matchup of Andrew Whitworth, the heart and soul of the Cincinnati Bengals, pass protecting. Here you see Green against Talib, and that's a nice job plastering by Aqib Talib. But look at Andrew Whitworth, one-on-one against DeMarcus Ware. Whitworth has had one of his finest seasons, the 9th-year pro out of LSU.
Bernard the back on 2nd and 10. And Giovanni Bernard quick opening will make it third and just about 5 yards here for Cincinnati.
You know, when Bernard comes in the game, his running plays are different. They're almost like college spread offense runs. They have a built-in quick screen here. They can hand the ball to Bernard. And Andy Dalton looks like he's back at TCU. But they have the inside physical presence of Jeremy Hill. And then they have the explosive open formation runs for Giovanni Bernard. Hard to defend.
Bernard comes out wide. 3rd and 6, Dalton. Again flushed, chased by Miller, and just benches it, gets rid of it. And we'll keep alive the chance for a go-ahead field goal. Pressure by Von Miller, shut down 3rd down.
Von Miller, his signature is his effort. Here he is working a spin move against Eric Winston. Nice finish by Von Miller. And here's Nugent. He's hit his last 11 straight.
Missed that potential game-winning field goal at the end of the game against Carolina that forced the tie that both teams have. Hasn't missed since, as you said, this from 37. And Nugent, Centerville, Ohio native. Gives the Ohio fans reason to cheer. Bengals lead. Some of the families, the children, the wives, the spouses of those of us who are on the road every week, 3.5 days a week to bring you Monday Night Football, those are our MVPs, and we wish them a happy holidays and thank them for all their support for our entire crew as we check out and get to tour the NFL and see some of the best stadiums and the best players every Monday night. Those folks keep the home fires going, and we say thank you and love you. 10-7 Cincinnati after the Aqib Talib pick 6. The Bengals have scored the last 10 to take the lead. Line drive boot here by Nugent. And 5 deep, a thought by Bolden, but he decides to stay in. Peyton Manning, 3 of 5, 30 yards, 3 drives, John. No downfield passing threat thus far.
Can't sustain anything, and Cincinnati has fooled him. Here's a double A gap look. Peyton Manning sees it. He goes right to his best run audible. And as soon as C.J. Anderson lines up in the I formation, they check out of the blitz, they change the front, and now they're blocking a front that they weren't prepared to handle. Advantage Cincinnati so far, Mike.
And where are they going now? They're going back to where we see Manning so often. Spread, 3 receivers, shotgun.
Turn up the tempo and let Cincinnati have a dose of their own medicine.
Manning with time as the crosser Demarius Thomas, who's tracked by Leon Hall, and the gain is 5.
Cincinnati does not play a lot of man-to-man coverage. They blitz, but they play zone blitz coverages. They play 3 deep, 4 deep, 2 deep. They disguise. They have a number of talented first-rounders in their secondary. Manning's got his hands full tonight.
Tempo going. This is Thomas. Has it ripped out of his hands. Who's got the possession of the sideline? Nelson took it out of his hands, and they say Cincinnati ball. Julius Thomas had it. Nelson ripping it out of his hands, trying to keep his feet in bounds. They rule he secured it. It will be reviewed. For the moment, Bengal ball.
What a great effort by Reggie Nelson. This will be challenge for the next couple minutes. I'm sure of that, Mike, but what an effort by Nelson to rip the ball away from Julius Thomas.
You know, John, does Thomas ever have the ball long enough? It seems like if you assign possession to the ball, Nelson has it longer, although Thomas's hands remain on it throughout. Given the way replay is going, is there anything there that says it should be overturned? Is there anything definitive there that might be one that stands?
The previous play is under review.
So Bill Vinovich will join Dean Blandino, the NFL VP of officiating in New York, to take a look. Bill Vinovich has had a look, and here's his call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
So confirmed, not stands, and it's a turnover for Denver.
Well, Peyton just misses this throw in the flat to his left. Ball's thrown behind, Julius Thomas, and Reggie Nelson makes a great break on the football. And in a sudden change, here's Andy Dalton.
A.J. Green off the field, went back for precautionary x-rays. Dalton being led by Gresham. Slides right at the line. Think they'll give him the first down at the 12.
They run this zone read in the red zone with Andy Dalton. You saw Gresham come across the formation and block Von Miller a play ago. Now he bluffs Von Miller and he becomes the read blocker on this read option with Andy Dalton carrying the football. Nice design by the Cincinnati Bengals, and Andy Dalton has hurt people with this zone read, particularly in the red zone.
This is the give to Hill inside. Hill gained about a yard with Terrence Knighton, the defensive captain, making the tackle. Let's talk about Dalton here for a minute, John. He's done everything. He's thrown it, obviously, for touchdowns. He's run it. He's even caught one from Mohamed Sanu. But he bears a lot of the weight of their struggles on the big stage. But you see with that run right there, his talents, they're right there at the edge. Can they just make the breakthroughs in the big games to elevate this team one more level?
Well, they haven't asked him to do a lot throwing the football, but in the big money games, he's going to have to make some critical throws, perhaps right here in the red zone.
Changing the formation, Rex Burkhead, the former Nebraska running back, is down at the bottom of the screen. Dalton gets out, pumps, runs to the 2. Spot will depend if he has the first down or not.
I like quarterbacks with mobility. You get everybody out in the passing game. Nobody's open. Watch Andy Dalton. Protection holds up. I don't see a primary receiver. I don't see my complement. I'm taking off and running for the first down. And he's been durable as well, Mike. This is his 63rd straight start. He can hurt you throwing it and with his legs. And
going to get a measurement here, John, as he's so close to the first down. So often the officials can look with their eye and get a sense of where the marker is. They're going to have to come out and inspect a bit closer. Again, Cincinnati gets in the playoffs with a victory here tonight. You don't want to mess with going to Pittsburgh and having a win on Sunday. That's still for the division, but you're at home where you've lost badly the last 2 games. So there's a lot of pressure on these guys as they have the first down. Now they're sitting on first and goal to go up 10 points on Denver.
I think this is just where Cincinnati wants to be. They've been on the brink for the last couple of years. You have the defending AFC champions right here on Monday Night Football. You can exercise a lot of demons right here tonight in the jungle.
And again, with their best offensive player, A.J. Green, back in the locker room, limited impact with his arm injury. First and goal, Cincinnati. The heaviest run first and goal team in the league throws it for the touchdown to Gresham.
You get the running game going, and some of these play actions and bootlegs are hard to stop. Manning throws the interception, and Cincinnati puts their foot down to take a 2-score lead. Play action pass to Marcus Ware, unblocked. Andy Dalton faded away from Ware. He knew exactly where to go under pressure, and nobody covered Jermaine Gresham.
It's a good job by a coaching staff. Hugh Jackson's offense, first and goal, had run it almost 75% of the time, most in the league. They know their tendencies. They break them there. Gresham's 4th touchdown catch of the year. And the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton's got the Bengals going. Cincinnati up 10. And on Saturday the 3rd, or perhaps Sunday the 4th, we'll have our first ever playoff game. Look forward to the wild card. And Cincinnati trying to get into the postseason with a win. They've scored 17 in a row to take a 10-point edge. Back to an Omar Bolden. That takeaway by Reggie Nelson, officially categorized as an interception thrown by Manning, as it's taken right out of the hands of Thomas. And now, John, this Denver team that has not been in led to the touchdown, this Denver team that has not been in a passing rhythm has to start doing that. They're down 10 here. Will they open it up again, or do they go back to the run-based game?
Well, I keep waiting, but they have 6 offensive linemen in there again, and this has been a run formation, period.
Little Sanders comes in motion. And Manning from the 20 turns and gives it to C.J. Anderson. Just under 3 yards.
I go back to this offensive line. You change 3 positions in the middle of the season. You're asking for trouble. Will Montgomery at center. They moved their center Ramirez to right guard. Vasquez, the right guard, to right tackle. And they have another tackle playing tight end. It's hard to throw the football successfully against good teams on the road.
Manning adjusts the play. It's play action on 2nd and 7. And out of the backfield, it's Anderson. Tries to pull away from the Marquise Flowers tackle, but the rookie from Arizona brings him down just shy of the first down.
It just seems that every time Manning throws the football, there's a defender in his face. That time, Gilberry again closing in on Manning just as he releases the football. It's hard to get good looks down the field with defensive linemen breathing down your neck.
The one completion, their first pass of the game, Gilberry leveled Manning. Third and 1. And a big opening now for Anderson. Past the 40 to the 41-yard line. First down.
Boy, Cincinnati gambled in that short yardage situation and lost, and they're lucky C.J. Anderson slipped. They're going to run Ray Maualuga through a gap. They cover all the offensive linemen. And you see Will Montgomery at center get it done. And fortunately for Bengal fans, C.J. Anderson slipped.
It's been a while. Let's go back to that second drive. The last time Denver picked up a first down. Now Jeremy Stewart checks in. The backfield for the Broncos. Manning on the run. Flag down. He's got Thomas downfield. And Demaryius Thomas is down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. However, this may come back.
That's on Ryan Clady at left tackle. It's not even close.
Holding. Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Erases what would have been a 50-yard gain.
It's just not good pass protection, Mike. You see left tackle Ryan Clady clearly holding. Gets beat on an inside move, and officials all over that. It's a poor pass set. Clady left last week's game with a sore quad. Missed all of last season with a Liz Frank foot injury, and the Denver Bronco offensive line has not played well.
And you wonder why are they running more? And everyone wants to say, is it Manning? Is he okay health-wise? But you see, they're having trouble pass protecting here. And that was the story in St. Louis when Manning took a beating. Back to C.J. Anderson on the ground. Get across the 35 to the 36-yard line to pick up a 4.
You don't want to fall behind in the down and distance against the Cincinnati Bengals. You remember those Cincinnati Reds? They called them the Nasty Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Those relievers.
Led by Rob Dibbles.
Bengals have some nasty boys as well. Carlos Dunlap, Maualuga. They'll hit you.
Second and 16, and Manning again. It's Anderson out of the backfield, but it's dropped. It'll be 3rd and long.
I think Peyton got knocked down again, Mike. He can't even get to his 2nd or 3rd read ever. Dunlap working against Vasquez. It's just too easy. Every time they throw the ball, Manning is under siege.
Quick count. 3rd and 16. Manning into coverage. Incomplete. Adam Jones, George Iloka on the coverage. And Denver doesn't have an offensive answer right now.
Well, they tried to use a gimmick there. Quick count, maybe catch Cincinnati napping. But you see the range of Iloka. And Peyton's lucky that ball wasn't intercepted. Lack of pass protection, terrible holding call nullifies a big gain. And Cincinnati could get good field position again.
Adam Jones also lucky he didn't get a flag there as he was about ready to tackle Thomas before the ball got to him. Colquitt Kicks it high, not very deep. Contact as Jones was running up. Brandon Tate and Andre Caldwell both bump into Jones, the return man. No disaster, goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 5 possessions for Denver, their furthest offensive advance, their own 46. Cincinnati scored 17 in a row, the only Bronco point scored by the Denver defense tonight. Number 4 pick overall in the draft in 2011, 3-time Pro Bowler A.J. Green, major target for the Bengals, and his play against Aqib Talib was going to be very big in this game tonight, but an early injury sidelined Green. He went back to the locker room a short time ago for a precautionary x-ray, and obviously the results were good as Green's breaking the huddle and back on the field for Cincinnati.
And Aqib Talib is going to go everywhere A.J. Green goes, I promise you that.
It's a right arm injury, and after he went out, Cincinnati got going here. 17 points, a lot of it an 85-yard touchdown run by Hill. This time it's Bernard who's stopped at the line of scrimmage and thrown back for no gain. So here is what happened. This is the 4th play the Bengals ran. High throw by Dalton on the slant, deflected by Green. Talib made the pick 6, but the hit by T.J. Ward led to the major pain from Green. Missed a couple of series, came back for a series. And you can see it was still bothering him. That's when they took him back to the locker room to get checked on. Still doesn't look 100% obviously in pain, but out there trying to go through it. Bernard up the middle. Giovanni Bernard to the 38-yard line, first down.
See zone read plays with Giovanni Bernard that are killing Denver. Dalton is going to put the ball in the chest of Bernard and read the backside, and a good read by Dalton, a well-blocked play by the Cincinnati Bengal offensive line.
23 there. Told you earlier he had a long touchdown run, 89 yards this year against Carolina. This time Dalton keeps. Read it very well, John, and he gains about 8 yards. So this zone read giving the Broncos problems.
Oh, I spent a lot of time with Andy Dalton. He ran these exact plays at TCU. They are not going to block DeMarcus Ware. They're going to read him, and they're going to bring Gresham from the backside as a lead blocker. And if Ware closes, Dalton keeps it, and then he picks up a second-level blocker. These plays got to drive Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware crazy. Screens and zone reads, no fun.
The first down picked up on the ground by Bernard into Denver territory at the 49-yard line. I mentioned Bernard had that 89-yard run. Hill had the 85-yard run. Of note, it's the first time in the history of the NFL that teammates had 85-plus yard touchdown runs in the same season. Hill 85 tonight, Bernard 89 against Carolina in that tie back in October.
Hey, 43.
Credit for those and for a lot of the work tonight to that offensive line. Of course, we give them a tip of the cap, and they move.
Ball start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I go back to that offensive line. When you're averaging 9 yards a carry against the Denver Broncos, you got to tip your hat to them. Whitworth, the left tackle, is a mauler. Zeitler, a first-round pick from Wisconsin, a well-known mauler. And they like this physical, in-your-face style. And you see the change of pace they have with Bernard at halfback. Now they're back to the big back Hill. And the play action of Dalton is a wicked combination.
Back on their side of midfield. Run up towards midfield for Hill will take us to the 2-minute warning. Bengals ball, they lead by 10 as Hill hobbles off to the sideline here in Cincy. And we remind you that tonight coverage from Spider Cam is brought to you by DirecTV.
See, second and long situations. Cincinnati has done a nice job running screen passes. They've run about 4 screens to slow the pass rush down. They ran a number of zone reads, and so far Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware have had no chance to impact this game.
Bengals have 205 yards in this first half. 2nd and 11. And they get it out quick again. Bernard's got a block downfield. Giovanni Bernard to the 33 and a first down. Clint Bowling, the guard, was out there to pave the way.
That's the middle screen, another screen. 2nd and long. Denver's got to expect the screen. It's a no-back set. They lure the defensive ends up the field, and they just drop a little middle screen in there to Giovanni Bernard. Denver is getting ripped with screen passes and zone reads. They must adjust quickly.
So A.J. Green on the field. Hill still on the sideline. Bernard pulled down up high by Malik Jackson. Limiting the game, but didn't get the face mask.
You know, Mike, when you have 13 sacks and you're Von Miller and you have 10 and you're DeMarcus Ware, opposing coaches, they have to do something to slow these men down. Let's see if Cincinnati runs another screen. They've already run 5.
Former Cincinnati Bearcat Bronco defensive end Derek Wolfe ran off the field a couple of plays ago. Looked to be a bit injured. Dalton taking a shot. Bad throw and nearly intercepted. Sanzenbacher's the receiver over there, but Talib in coverage almost had his 2nd pick of the half.
Well, this downfield pass game of the Cincinnati Bengals needs work, and Aqib Talib almost has his 2nd interception. That's a bad decision there by Andy Dalton. 3rd down and 9 in field goal range. Cincinnati must be careful. They don't want to get knocked out of field goal range with a sack.
Field goal from here be just about 49 yards. Green back in, bottom of the screen against Talib. Dalton fires middle, too tall and incomplete. He was being rushed. He got hit as he threw. You see Green still grimacing in pain. And here comes the field goal attempt from Nugent.
I think Andy Dalton needs to make this throw. You're going to see an overload here on the right side. It's a stunt. A.J. Green coming left to right. He and Aqib Talib have had quite a battle. Once again, a ball's thrown high in the middle of the field, and you're asking for trouble with poor throws in the middle of the field.
Nugent's made 49-yard field goals, his longest this season, twice. Snap wasn't great. Good job by Huber to get it down, and Nugent knocks it through. And the Bengals have scored 20 in a row. 5 of 10 for 41 yards. The first half passing stats for Peyton Manning. His Broncos offense even balanced, 10 runs, 10 passes, and ineffective really in both regards. Nugent kicks it off. He kicked it away from where Bolden was, so no one catches it. Denver will take over at the 20. They'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter as well, and in between, Chris Berman has the Toyota halftime. Morton Adam dialing up the insider notes heading to the final week of the regular season. The latest on Jim Harbaugh and what happened in sports recap today on SportsCenter. Harbaugh with that great quote today about his future, potentially taking the Michigan job, another NFL job. What will happen, and what won't happen, won't. One of the great non-answers in a while. Darquez Dennard, backup corner, leg injury. Wallace Gilberry, hamstring, banged up on that last drive and special teams. Gilberry's back in as Manning throws to Wes Welker for the first time tonight. Close to the first down. Welker only has 31 catches last 10.5 games.
Cincinnati in their dime defense. Taylor Mays, a converted safety, playing the linebacker position. The Bengals are shorthanded.
Manning, Anderson didn't get his head turned around quickly enough. Incomplete. Full complement of timeouts, 40 seconds remaining.
As good as C.J. Anderson is as a running back, he's a work in progress in the passing game. That time he's late getting his head around, and that's frustrating for any quarterback. The timing is just not there tonight in this Denver pass offense.
3rd and 1, they run with Anderson, just gets the first down. Broncos should take a timeout, and they will with 35 seconds, and we'll be back in 30. Denver earns a bye, alive for the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs with a win If Cincinnati maintains this lead, New England will lock down the #1 seed heading into the tournament. A dozen days away from starting. First down, Manning, collapsing pocket. In the middle, it's caught by the tight end, Julius Thomas, into Bengal territory at the 43.
Julius Thomas runs right down the seam. How does that happen? Taylor Mays, an underneath zone defender, number 26. Didn't carry him up the seam, and that shortage of inside linebackers could come back to haunt the Bengals. Let's see if Thomas is okay. That ankle has bothered him for weeks, Mike.
26-yarder, the athletic trainer, the longtime athletic trainer with Denver, Steve Antonopoulos, there for a word. You just know that impact of Thomas, those big plays down the field have not been there because of that injury. John, we have not seen a lot of downfield passing either way here tonight.
You don't see much of it in pro football either, Mike. There's a lot of quick screens, perimeter bubble screens, things of that nature. But outside of a bunch of screens, Andy Dalton has been very quiet throwing the football, and Peyton Manning has had very little pass protection until that last throw to Thomas.
Jacob Tamme has come in at tight end with Manning in Indianapolis for 4 years, replacing Thomas. Peyton throws complete to Tamme. It's a gain of about 7. And in this 2-minute, you see a little more of that typical Peyton rhythm. Down to 1 timeout in 20 seconds.
You can see Manning in his comfort zone here. Got to hurry.
Second and long 2. There's a blitz coming. It's picked up, and Welker's got it right near the 31-yard line. They take the final timeout here and try a 48-yard field goal with 5 seconds remaining.
And that's a perfect indication of what the Bengals do on defense. It's a crazy blitz, but it's not man-to-man coverage. And Manning throws the ball to Welker right into a zone defender, and Welker's lucky he didn't get hit real hard.
You saw Manning make a comment as the kicking unit was coming on last week in San Diego. He looked over at Connor Barth and said, "You got this." And Barth said, "Whoa, wait a minute." So Barth, this is his 4th game. They moved Brandon McManus to just the kickoff duty because he missed 4 field goals in the first 10 weeks. All Barth has done is come in here and not miss a field goal. 11 for 11. Guy was released by Tampa Bay after he tore his Achilles playing in a charity basketball game in the offseason a year ago. Marvin Lewis will let him think about this field goal with a timeout.
Barth has made a lot of close-range field goals, Mike. This Bronco offense has struggled in the red zone, and he's hit a number of mid-range field goals. Let's see if Barth has that long-range ability.
They hit 2 19-yarders last week, and this has become one of those themes in the NFL. You score, you go to halftime with momentum, which this team did not have offensively. They get the ball to start the second half, and they can make a choice. You want to come back and do what you just saw on that drive, what Peyton's done for a generation, or do you want to bring the extra offensive lineman and run? Decisions to be made. With momentum or not. Barth from 49. Wide left, no good.
What a great first half of defense by the Cincinnati Bengals, and I would not have thought the Bengals would run the football for 166 yards in a half.
Cincinnati scores 20 in a row. Manning gets the ball first in the second half. Here's Chris Berman with the Toyota halftime. Chris.
Stand by, all cameras. Roll tape.
It makes rock concerts look like tea parties.
What a show this man has put on tonight. William Perry fights the football.
Tear down this wall.
Or you can take me now. I've seen it all.
Holy moly.
Well, boy.
Seahawks win the most bizarre finish you'll ever see. Set for the second half after a first half highlighted by an 85-yard touchdown run that tied the game at 7. The big run by Jeremy Hill backed up by pressure on Peyton Manning and frustration with no answers right now for what Cincinnati's doing. And the Broncos looking for a rhythm. It is a Bengals lead here at the break. Third quarter set to start. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, and our Zales Extraordinary Moments.
Very extraordinary, but Cincinnati is confusing Peyton Manning. Here's a double A gap blitz look. Then they stem out of it. They show 3 blitzers on the right. Then they shift out of that and they bring 2 rushers on the left. Coverage changes, front changes, confusing the Broncos. Here Peyton Manning audibles to a quick screen to his right. And as soon as Reggie Nelson hears and sees the signal, he brings his Bengals to the quick screen and they reject that play. So Cincinnati has read some of the hand signals. They've disguised fronts and coverages. They have confused Peyton Manning and his Bronco offense.
John, you talked about the different looks of 5 or 6 defensive backs. When they've been in 4 DB looks, it's been more effective for the Denver offense. But the Bengals defense allowing under 3 yards when they're playing 5 DBs and when they're playing 6. That was part of the game plan, and right now it's working because, John, they're getting pressure on Manning when they're in those 6 DB looks.
Yes, and Denver's offensive line's got to block better. And Cincinnati's got to continue to mix up the looks. They played a number of different kinds of zone coverages, and they've used some zone blitzes as well.
Second half underway. Nugent kicks, first return opportunity for Omar. Bolden's got a big opening. Bolden, 40. Midfield, Bolden, 40. 30 down the sideline and brought down inside the 25-yard line.
That's one way to create some emotion on your sideline. Omar Bolden, a reserve cornerback, catches this ball at the numbers, starts to cross the field, and he hits it. He outruns Drake Kirkpatrick and gets the corner. And here's Denver in the red zone.
Nugent and Sean Williams, the kicker, and the backup safety pursued. Williams was the one who looked injured. He has come across the field under his own power. But what a chance for Denver to get right back in this game after Cincinnati scored 20 in a row. Broncos offense has not put up any points tonight. Manning first down. Fires and open at the 5 is Thomas. Out of bounds at the 2.
This Demaryius Thomas, he's not your everyday route runner. What a beautiful double move. He's going to break sharp to the post, back to the corner, and then he broke back to the outside. I've not seen that route run ever. Every week they have a game plan specialty pattern for Demaryius Thomas, and for a 6'4" wideout, he has a huge inventory of patterns.
First and goal, Denver at the 2. To Thomas again, trying to pay it off at the pylon. Covered by Terrence Newman, still going strong in his 12th year in the league.
That's just a high point fade. This is an area where Denver has really struggled in the tight red zone. Usually Demaryius Thomas brings that ball down, but San Diego rejected Denver twice last week inside the 5-yard line, and they continue to use these open formations with multiple receivers. Sometimes they just don't have enough blockers, Mike.
3 receivers again. Second and goal. Fake to Anderson, over the top to Thomas, interfered with. Easy call on Terrence Newman. It'll be first and goal to 1.
It's one-on-one coverage, and Peyton Manning is going to find his favorite target, who has a size advantage against anybody he plays against. That time, just a simple slant route. Newman clearly interferes. But inside the 1.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be in place at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Inside the 1, you'd like to see Denver come out in some conventional goal line front. Here they have number 63, Ben Garland, at fullback.
Every offensive lineman eligible is out there trying to get the tight ends organized. So you have an eligible receiver on the end of the line. First and goal, and Garland leads, and Anderson scores. C.J. Anderson. And just 48 seconds into the second half, the Broncos get back in this one.
What a great way to come out of the locker room. Bolden with a huge kickoff return, and then Ben Garland, a reserve offensive lineman, on a lead block, and C.J. Anderson scores. Good push up front by the Denver Bronco offensive line. They're better run blockers and pass protectors, and that's a huge momentum shift for this Denver Bronco football team.
The point tacked on by Connor Barth. Omar Bolden's 77-yard kickoff return put Anderson in place for the score. We send our Christmas cards back to everyone with love, and great to give those special people some airtime here tonight. The Omar Bolden kickoff return, so huge for this Denver team. They were in desperate need of a spark and got it, and the ball comes down off the tee just as McManus was about to kick it. So it's the old schoolyard do-over here.
And John Fox, he carries two kickers. He really believes in field position, and when you coach in Denver, you need a kicker that can put the ball off of the field of play. McManus has about 75% touchbacks. They'll let Connor Barth do the field goal kicking, but it says a lot about the commitment to special teams when you dress two kickers and a punter, Mike.
Foxy did that in Carolina 2008 through 2010 with John Casey, who didn't have the leg to get the touchbacks. It's interesting with a Denver team because at home you get those touchbacks usually because of the altitude. It's tougher on the road, and here Adam Jones going to take it from 8 deep. Jones picking up blocks, and Adam Jones gets past Bolden, and look at Adam Jones take it to the 30 and to the 26-yard line. Take that, Omar Bolden.
He might be the first returner in a long time to lead the NFL in punt return yardage and kickoff return yardage from 8 yards deep. Adam Jones hits the gas pedal. Over 30 yards of return. Quite a weapon for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Andy Dalton is knocking on the door again with great field position.
Officially 80 on the kickoff return. Mel Gray of the Lions in 91, the last to lead in kickoff returns and punt returns. Jones adds to his kickoff return lead. He's third in punt return average this year. And that is Hill with a loss. Todd Davis made the good play. I want to go to Lisa Salters right now, find out what's going on with A.J. Green.
Yeah, Mike, I had a chance to talk to Marvin Lewis going into the locker room, and I asked him what A.J. Green's status is, and he says he has an arm bruise. He says right now A.J.'s just trying to work through it. He's just trying to get the blood circulating through that arm again, according to Marvin Lewis.
61 receptions on the year, and he missed nearly a quarter of the season with a toe injury. Tonight he's got the arm to deal with and Aqib Talib at the bottom of the screen. Andy Dalton going the other way. Jermaine Gresham, part of the mix here this week. It's some of the lost yardage on first down back, and it's third and manageable for Cincinnati.
Very important as Cincinnati stays in these manageable third downs. Try to take the edge off of these Denver Bronco pass rushers who've really been no factor tonight. DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller have been neutralized with screen passes and zone reads. Let's see if they can cut one loose here.
Dummy snap count so he can adjust the blocking. Bernard out of the backfield, inside the 10, into the end zone. Cincinnati responds with a touchdown.
All about matchups. And with Giovanni Bernard healthy, we said it last year, the Bengals have not had a running back like this in a long time. He gives them Darren Sproles type juice. You can line him up in these no-back sets, and number 53, Steven Johnson, has no chance to cover Giovanni Bernard.
And John, they are really missing Brandon Marshall and Danny Trevathan, those linebackers. Zone read plays, big openings, trying to trail these running backs. Those injuries are really crushing the Denver defense here tonight. Nugent, tough snap. Huber got it down and just sneaks in. Wow, that was some hold. Second time in a row. Been a bad snapping night for Clark Harris. Minute 37 after the Broncos score. Dalton and the Bengals respond. Both of these coaches have been around for a while, and they know in big games what you have to do to test your mettle as a championship team, division or larger, is respond. And Marvin Lewis's team has responded. 23 seconds after the pick six of the first quarter, the 85-yard run by Hill. And now a minute 37, John, after Denver gets the big kick return and scores a touchdown. Cincinnati does the exact same thing.
Got to give him credit.
Emmanuel Sanders has gone back to get this kickoff, and he'll return it from the 1. And Sanders moves to the right. He's brought down to 20. A good special teams play for Chris Carter, linebacker for Cincinnati. And we have another Bengal shaken up as Peyton brings the Denver offense back on the field. For their second drive of this second half.
Peyton Manning had a lot of success at the end of the first half when he jumped into that 2-minute offense, where he has made quite a living in that no-huddle offense. Let's see if Peyton Manning talked to Adam Gase, his offensive coordinator, and let's see if they get back to that no-huddle offense, Mike.
We saw Sean Williams was down. He was the player who got hurt on that kick return to start the second half. Injury timeout. Those two in all the New Year's 6 bowl games, the best games of the college football season. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day on ESPN. Manning takes over from his own 21, down 13. Take to the air, sideline toss on time. Demaryius Thomas gains 10. First down after the Vincent Ray tackle.
They moved Demaryius Thomas all over the place. That time he's in the slot. They get him one-on-one against Vincent Ray, a linebacker, and it's stealing. When you get a great receiver, move him around. And Denver has done an outstanding job with Demaryius Thomas in the last 2 seasons. His statistics prove it.
Cincinnati gets 5 defensive backs back on the field. No run with C.J. Anderson up the middle, and the 2 linebackers left, Ray and Malaluga, tackle him at the 36-yard line, pickup of about 5.
And watch Peyton Manning go to work. Here he is at his comfort zone. No huddle. Let him use all 40 seconds to pick the best play.
Go. 5, quick slant. Thomas again in front of Jones. First down at the 45. And now, John, first time tonight I'm seeing some rhythm from Manning and the Broncos.
Well, he got fooled a couple times in the first half with all these crazy disguises. He's going to pick up the tempo and say no more of that.
Fake to Anderson. Manning's getting time now. That's also part of the equation. Check down for about 3 yards to the running back.
It's what you have to do. You have to turn the game over to Peyton Manning when you see a defense that's giving you multiple looks and disguises. Pick up the tempo and let Peyton Manning get on the gas pedal.
7, free runner is Taylor Mays coming at him, and he almost threw an interception. Great defense there. Bring a DB, drop a lineman in coverage, and Gilberry almost had it. Was Leon Hall, I beg your pardon, not Mays.
Oh, it's a blitz. You see Hall unblocked, and Peyton Manning is throwing the ball into a zone blitz coverage. Gilberry, number 95, a defensive lineman, shows up covering the tight end.
Third and 7, we've got movement up front. Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, started his charge. Or was he induced?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So they get Gilberry inside instead of Dunlap on the edge. And that will change the equation significantly for third down.
It's a tough call these days. The offensive linemen get protection.
Malaluga off the field for Cincinnati, getting some attention. The Bengals getting dinged up here. 3rd and 3 for Manning. Firing down the right sideline. What a one-handed grab by Emmanuel Sanders. Forget the flag. He made the play at the 16-yard line. Big pickup of 33.
You have Wes Welker in the slot on 3rd and 3, and normally that's where the ball goes, but Peyton Manning says, not when I have heat on the outside, and Emmanuel Sanders.
Defense number 23. Penalties declined. Result of the play. First down.
Goodness, what a play.
Emmanuel Sanders continues to light people up. What an acquisition he has been coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have speed on the outside on both sides of the formation with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders.
They're hitting those 20-plus catches almost as much as anyone in the league this year. That last one went for 33. Denver's in the red zone with Jawan Thompson, the college free agent undrafted out of Duke, for a gain of a few yards as he spells C.J. Anderson on this drive. And here comes Mawaluga, the linebacker, back in for Cincinnati.
And this is an area that Denver loves to use Julius Thomas, their touchdown scoring tight end. He's got 9 touchdown receptions in the red zone, and in his absence in the last few weeks, the Broncos have struggled.
So Manning shake his head, the head bob. He looks right, fires. It's caught by Sanders inside the 5, 1st and goal.
So Emmanuel Sanders, if you're a young receiver and you catch the ball against the zone defense, no wasted motion, north, south, and split defenders. Very decisive after the catch receiver with blazing speed and no fear.
You saw Manning down 13. He's come back 17 times. You've experienced it firsthand. Dan Marino is 2nd all-time in league history with 12. So Peyton's come back 5 more times than any other quarterback when his team's been down 13. Trying to do it again. Slant. Sanders back in his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown.
They have so many plays. Hard to defend. Peyton Manning has a bunch formation. 3 receivers stacked. He sees the Bengals walked off in zone coverage. He flips it out to Sanders, picks up 2 lead blockers, and you see the tenacity of Emmanuel Sanders. I think we're in for an exciting finish, Mike.
The middle's pretty darn good. This is quite a start to the 3rd quarter. Extra point knocked through by Connor Barth. Peyton Manning ties Andrew Luck. 38 touchdown passes this season. 8th one to Sanders. Peyton Manning has never lost to the Cincinnati Bengals as one of the many pages in the Peyton Manning record book. How about this one? Touchdown passes in a 3-season span. Of course, the record 55 in a season last year, boosting the number. That was just number 130. And when he threw a touchdown last week, it broke Drew Brees' recent record of most touchdown passes in a 3-season stretch. And there's the rest of this game and next week against Oakland, potentially to add to it. The Broncos would stay alive for that number 1 overall seed in the AFC if they win this game. New England is still with control because they have the tiebreaker. Patriots play Buffalo on Sunday. Adam Jones, after his last good return, this time stretched out but keeps going across the 30. And the leading kickoff return man in the league out to the 31. We're talking about those Manning comebacks to down 13. I don't know if you know this, John. He's had a couple of Monday night comebacks.
You show it every time, Mike. I mean, you know, in 2000, we were down 24-7. We came back and beat the Colts, but you always show me getting drilled by the sheriff.
Well, do you feel better? It's not just you?
Yeah, I know.
You were there in San Diego when we had this game. That incredible comeback. Down 24-0 at the half. 35 in the second half.
It's a pleasure watching him play quarterback. A pleasure.
And he looks like the Peyton Manning we've seen for 16, 17 years in this 3rd quarter with the tempo going. As Cincinnati respond again. And again, it is Hill with the carry across the 40 and to the 41. Pickup of nearly 8 for Jeremy Hill, the rookie.
You draft a guard in the 1st round from Wisconsin, and they say he's a run blocker. Let's pull him. Let's bring a 320-pound Kevin Zeitler to the party. Double team at the point of attack, pull the backside guard, and hand the ball to Jeremy Hill. It's been very successful.
Officially, they give Hill 9. Hewitt, the fullback, tries to lead the way. And Jeremy Hill gets a first down.
I love fullbacks. Mike, this fullback, this rookie from Stanford, Ryan Hewitt. Listen to this in the hole. That's a tough way to make a living, but I really like what Cincinnati's done. Bring in a 255-pound fullback and use him.
There's Hewitt. His high school coach in the Denver area at Mullen High School is Dave Logan, former Bronco, does a terrific job as their radio play-by-play man. Eric Winston moved early, the right tackle.
Start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Hey, John, one more note on Hewitt. Dave Logan was telling me before the game today that he goes to Stanford. Jim Harbaugh's still the coach there. And Harbaugh's surveying the tight ends, and he says, Hewitt, you're going to be a fullback. Why? He's the shortest one. So he goes back and plays a little bit of a fullback role at Stanford. And Logan told Hewitt, hey, any way you can stay on the field, that's going to be important for you. And look where he is now, a key role on this Bengals team, trying to lock down a playoff spot here as it starts to rain in Cincinnati. And it's Mohamed Sanu over the middle into Bronco territory for the first down at the 45-yard line.
That's not good by Raheem Moore, the safety. They're disguising, and Moore has man coverage, and he gets beat badly by a sharp slant route by Sanu. You can disguise coverages, but eventually you've got to get in position and cover your man. That time Moore was late. Quick passes, screens, and runs. Cincinnati's taking it to this Denver defense.
A.J. Green back out of the game for the Bengals. That right arm dangling every time he jogs off the field. This is only going to be a yard for Hill and Malik Jackson. The guy who stepped up his play, John, as the third defensive end, made the stop. There you look at A.J. trying to play through that arm injury suffered in the first quarter.
You know, A.J. Green's hurting. They already are missing Marvin Jones. Jones had over 10 receptions for touchdowns last year for the Bengals. Some of these young receivers are going to have to step up. Is it going to be Tate, Sanzenbacher, or is it going to be Sanu? Somebody's got to assume some major responsibility.
2nd and 9, a little read by Dalton on the run. He throws on time and complete. It is Brandon Tate for the first down. The former Patriot takes it to the 32-yard line.
Cincinnati loves to run this counter play, and off of it you get some nice play action opportunities, and we just talked about it. If there's no A.J. Green and there's no Marvin Jones, Tate, somebody got to step up for the Bengals. Nice work.
It's been good offense from Cincinnati tonight. They're averaging 7 yards per play. Sanzenbacher come around to take it, cut it back up. And about no gain. Ware stayed home. Late flag thrown. One of the Bengals offensive linemen was down and looking for a penalty against the Broncos.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 95, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on the Ohio native, former Cincy Bearcat, Derek Wolfe.
Once again, Cincinnati is responding. When Denver makes a score, Cincinnati has answered, and right here you see a foolish penalty by Derek Wolfe. There's no reason for that kind of play in football.
And Kevin Zeitler was laying on the ground trying to maximize the effect of the push and looking back towards the officials with his arms over his head. Now the entire officiating crew coming in for a conference as the Bengals have taken it into the red zone here.
Cincinnati has frustrated Denver, and you see the frustration in Wolfe. Zeitler and Whitworth physically taking it to the Bronco front. They're not used to this.
It's a Denver defense that in the last 3 games and 7 games total this year, John, keeping the opponents under 17 points. Buffalo 17, San Diego 10, Kansas City 16 before that. Not tonight, though. The edge for Jeremy Hill. Running hard down inside the 9. And since he was rolling over bodies, it's 1st and goal at the 8.
All the misdirection is driving Denver crazy. They're bringing receivers on top. They're fooling the backside, and they're handing the ball off. You see number 25, Chris Harris, totally fooled. He's unblocked at the point of attack. He saw way too much, and Jeremy Hill is shredding Denver.
14 carries, 116 yards. Here he goes again. To the 6-yard line. That ball come out? Yes, it did, and Denver's got it.
That's a game changer, and that's the one thing Hill has done, Mike. That's his 5th fumble. He fumbled twice last week against the Cleveland Browns. This one's really costly.
2nd time he's lost one. Von Miller taking it away, ripping it from his hands as he was fighting for the extra yard. Huge turnover for the Denver defense. Down 6. Huge play by Von Miller. Most of his forced fumbles come rushing the passer. That one a takeaway, but what happened?
Well, Jermaine Gresham's got to finish his block, Mike. We said it earlier, if you don't finish on the edge against Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, they're going to cause strips, sacks, and problems. And that time, Gresham beaten badly by Von Miller. And Miller is a savage around the football. Not good enough.
Rain coming down heavier. Temperatures still in the 40s. But now the weather a bit more of a factor here as Manning and the Broncos have scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the second half. From the 9, Peyton looking right, and Demaryius Thomas gets the feet down, inbounds. Gain of 11, 1st down for Denver. Terrence Newman took him out.
It's hard to defend timing and location. And when you throw an outside breaking route, everything has to be right. Depth by the receiver, drop by the quarterback, and the throw. Beautiful thing.
The points of the ball, didn't have the hands around the fat part of the football. And able to secure it long enough. It's down from the 20. C.J. Anderson working right. Boy, did he do a nice job reading the blocks to find space outside and get the 1st down at the 30. And the Broncos rolling in this half.
Well, it's this up-tempo offense. They've adjusted quick, up and at 'em type plays. Snap after snap, they've eliminated the disguise, and Peyton Manning looks like he's back in Indianapolis. He's hot right now in this no-huddle offense that he's made famous. Clearly his comfort zone.
Juwan Thompson's the back. It's his 3rd snap of the night. Fake to him. Manning's got time. Manning's going downfield. And there goes Thomas to the 23. Demaryius Thomas on a big catch.
I give this offensive line credit. We criticized them in the first half. They had a key penalty. They didn't protect very well. That time, Peyton Manning has a chance to stride up in the pocket and unload it. And Demaryius Thomas has twice beaten Anthony Newman. Terrence Newman down the field for big plays.
46 on that one. Take Thomas to 100 yards for the 2nd time in as many weeks. For a Denver record within a season, too, for 100-yard games. Manning looking for the lead. Incomplete, intended for Emmanuel Sanders inside of 3 minutes here in the 3rd.
See Manning gesturing to Sanders. Not quite sure they're on the same page there, but when Peyton Manning gets in this no-huddle offense, Mike, you don't know how fast he's going to snap it. You might see a dummy snap count, a dummy audible, a dummy hand signal. The offensive line have fake counts. But when he gets it going, hard to defend, and here they are coming out of the huddle again. They've slowed it down.
Newman out, Kirkpatrick, Drake Kirkpatrick in a corner with Hall and Jones. As the Bengals have 5 defensive backs on the field. And they're bringing pressure. Manning throws Juwan Thompson out of the backfield, dropped it. Only 4 receptions on the year coming in. Again, undrafted rookie out of Duke.
Well, they're missing Ronnie Hillman. No Sean Marino left. They don't have a lot of accomplished receiving threats coming out of the backfield. And on 3rd down and 10, Dunlap at the top of the screen, and Geno Atkins, number 97, got to earn their keep at crunch time.
Fire drill done. Manning loads and throws. Caught by Thomas. Stops on the dive. Demarius inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Broncos. Knocking on the door of taking the lead here in the 3rd.
I want to see Dunlap rush, Mike. They dropped him in coverage on a zone blitz, and he's responsible for Demarius Thomas. Might have gotten a little too cute there. The blitz comes off the right side. They drop Dunlap, and he's got to match up against Demarius Thomas.
Good luck, as you like to say.
Indeed.
What a 3rd quarter here for the Broncos. Manning complete to Welker, out of bounds at the 7. It'll be 2nd and goal. Just want to let you know, I'm looking at the radar up here in the booth. There's a cluster of showers moving up from Louisville towards Cincinnati. I get the feeling we may be in a pocket of rain here through the rest of the game. Showers are on the edge of the forecast, 20 or 30%, but the amateur meteorological guess is we're going to see rain here good part of the 4th quarter.
Manning wearing that glove on his right hand. It doesn't seem to bother him one bit, Mike.
Wore it last week in San Diego as well. Been wearing it a lot since coming back from the neck procedures. Manning's got a pocket in the end zone. Feeder down for Sanders. Denver's tied the game.
Sharp post pattern in the tight red zone. He just ran right through a double team. Up tempo has really helped Denver, but they had Emmanuel Sanders doubled. I don't know what Reggie Nelson is thinking.
Cincinnati defense had played so well, really had Denver on the ropes and confused. Here in this 3rd quarter, Denver's had it 3 times, 3 touchdowns. Extra point for Barth puts the Broncos on top by 1 with 1:29 left here in the 3rd.
They get down in the tight red zone, and Peyton Manning audibles. He sees the coverage he wants. He makes sure everybody has it. He's got his glove on his right hand. He doesn't need to play in a dome, Mike. But look at the right side of the screen. You see Reggie Nelson. They have Emmanuel Sanders doubled. But a corner post move by Emmanuel Sanders froze Reggie Nelson, and the Denver Broncos have come storming back.
This is really interesting to watch, John, because off air we're talking there during the 1st half. The Broncos just didn't look the same, and we know Peyton Manning got beat up against St. Louis. We set that up at the start of the game. Against Miami, they had a really good mix of pass and run. And coming into this game, Cincinnati did that thing that's just head-scratching. They said, we've got to stop the run first against Peyton Manning, of all people. So they did. But halftime adjustments, how often do we talk about it? And the reservoir of knowledge, Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator, and Peyton Manning go in. Let's go back and open it up, and 3 touchdowns here in the 3rd.
You just showed him beat me up in the 2nd half. That's what Manning does. He gets a feel for you in the 1st half, and then he punches you in the nose in the 2nd half. He's done it for a long time.
12 of 16 in this quarter for 168 yards and the 2 touchdowns. And we really have not seen this type of Denver offense since that Miami game, which came right on the heels of St. Louis. That up-tempo and, again, that frenetic stuff at the line of scrimmage where it's all in his hands.
Let's not forget he had 4 IVs last week. He was sick. The Buffalo Bills have proven they can play good defense against Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, or anybody. But tonight, you're right. We've seen more of the old Peyton Manning. And now we get to see what Andy Dalton and these Cincinnati Bengals are made of.
Bengals had the long kick return to start this third quarter, turned into a touchdown. And then a great drive going until the fumble happened inside the 10-yard line. Dalton over the top. Gresham hangs on and extends the play for a gain of 20 yards to the 40. Good job by Gresham, who missed the block a moment ago, as you said.
That's what you want to see from Jermaine Gresham. It's a play-action pass out of the shotgun. You're going to see Gresham on a seam route. Looks like they fooled T.J. Ward, who's playing linebacker in this nickel package, and it's a nice throw by Andy Dalton. And Raheem Moore, Steven Johnson, Talib. Hard man to bring down.
Green comes out again. He keeps trying to go, and just having such a tough time. Toss to Giovanni Bernard. Uses Sanzenbacher. Coming back to block there and able to gain 3 in the final minute of the third.
Bernard takes most of the one-back runs. You see Ryan Hewitt, the fullback, is checked back in. Cincinnati has stayed true to the game plan. They've been very persistent running the football on early downs. We'll see if that continues.
Second and 7. Guard and the fullback come along to the right for Bernard, but Denver getting through the traffic with T.J. Ward and David Bruton Jr. to end this third quarter.
Denver has not had a safety like this since Brian Dawkins retired. T.J. Ward making his presence felt.
Two spots left in the tournament. New England, Denver, Indianapolis, and Pittsburgh already in. Cincinnati's in if they can rally from down 1 here in the fourth quarter. Chargers in control of their destiny. If they win, they get in. With the Ravens and the Texans and the Chiefs still alive here, heading to the final 16 games and a quarter of this 2014 regular season. That quarter starts now. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Bengals once led by 13. But Denver outscored them 21-7 in that third quarter to take this 1-point lead. And Andy Dalton and company start the fourth quarter with 3rd and 6. 5 in the pattern for Dalton, who throws to Gresham, who won't get there. Lost the ball on the way. The Broncos might be on it. Big pile at the 48. Gresham fighting for the extra yards. T.J. Ward made the initial hit. Look at what goes on there. Look at Bodine, the center, trying to pull it out. Bodine, the center, 61, comes out of the pile with it.
That's careless ball security by Gresham. Cincinnati dodged a bullet. That's the 11th fumble that this Broncos secondary has caused. And at the end of the play, you got to really secure that football. That time, Gresham, lucky that ball wasn't turned over.
When you say 11 fumbles forced, that's all 11 fumbles after receptions.
That's amazing, Mike. We used to go through a year or two and not get 4 or 5 of those, but 11 in 15 games is amazing.
It's the most in the league, and Cincinnati has none of those fumbles forced after a reception this year. Welker in the wet conditions returns at 6 yards, and Denver will take over at the 21-yard line. The last time the Cincinnati fans were here, they saw their Bengals in position in the fourth quarter up 1, and then the meltdown. The mishandled ball there, and then Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers started pounding away. And you were watching this game, it was close, and then just in a couple of minutes, the Roethlisberger home run shot there. You look up, and the Steelers had 229 yards of offense, and it was a blowout, 42-21. Marvin Lewis's team has lost their last 2 home games by more than 20 points. They led by 13 here, but now they're trying to hold on against Denver and Manning. Anderson runs left. Gilberry's pursuit helps keep it to a loss of 2 yards.
And Cincinnati has benched Terrence Newman. They put Dre Kirkpatrick in at left corner. Demaryius Thomas beat Newman deep. Newman's had a heck of a year. He's been injured the last couple weeks. Had 2 interceptions against Manning the last time he faced him. 2nd and 11.
Patrick 27, bottom of your screen. Both sides adjusting as Manning with a flag down throws off the hands of Demaryius Thomas and incomplete.
I thought it was a false start against Denver.
I double clutched too and finally saw the flag come in. Nobody came down with a whistle to kill the play. And we'll see what Bill Vinovich has here.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Offside, defense number 95. Holding, offense number 78. By rule of penalties declined, replay second down.
They offset.
Second time tonight, Ryan Clady has been called for holding. And second down 11 has been a blitz down for Paul Gunther, defensive coordinator of the Bengals. Let's see if he tries to confuse Manning coming out of the huddle like he had success with in the first half.
Empty backfield, C.J. Anderson's at the bottom of the screen. The running back split out.
24.
Peyton knows, or he thinks he knows Adam Jones is coming. It's why he said he was the Mike. He drops back in coverage and picks him off at the 23-yard line.
Adam Jones having quite a night as a returner and a coverage man.
And just picked up a taunting flag as he ran down the Denver sideline towards one of his fellow DBs. So they're going to lose yardage here, but let's go back to what happened pre-snap and the play.
Well, you're going to see Thomas running outside breaking route, and Adam Jones bluffed the blitz, disguised it, came back into coverage. It's 2 deep man under. He undercut Demaryius Thomas, and Peyton Manning just missed the throw.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Taunting. Intercepting team number 20. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Cincinnati keeps the ball. First down.
Cincinnati can't have penalties like that in moments like this. You're going to get into some big games. You got to act like you've been there before. Great play by Jones, but a terrible penalty.
I'm sorry, John. You just took your team out of field goal range. Mike Nugent, by the way, their kicker, has been struggling with a hamstring in this second half, so you need every yard you can get, and for whatever reason, they're involved in the emotion of the game, but they went all the way down the sideline here, and that Jones is taking the football somewhere. Long history in past. He had kind of gotten it figured out. Marvin Lewis had good things to say about how involved Adam Jones has been in a positive way throughout the year. Big play there, cost his team 15. Jeremy Hill goes down quickly without contact at the 40-yard line.
Denver's getting ready for these early down running calls. That time, fullback Ryan Hewitt smashed in the hole, and Terrence Knighton, the ex-Jacksonville Jaguar, has been a run-stuffing supreme for Denver. Got to be alert for a screen. Cincinnati ran 5 of them in these second and long situations, and A.J. Green is back at the top of the screen.
I give him a lot of credit. He just ran back in. That arm is still dangling. He's trying to fight through the pain to be a factor in this big game. Dalton. Towards Green. Nothing.
That is a bad decision by Andy Dalton. Should have been intercepted. You got to know who you're messing with. I know A.J. Green is your go-to target, but do not mess around with Aqib Talib late in the down. Talib almost has another interception.
So Green did a good job there playing DB to make sure he couldn't get the pick and used the right arm and may have bothered it even more. Again, huge, silly taunting penalty. Took him out of field goal range. 3rd and 12. Dalton's got time. Off the hands of Gresham and incomplete. Cincinnati fans look for a flag. They say the coverage of Ward and David Bruton was good. And because of the penalty, they're going to be forced to punt the ball.
3rd down and 12. Bruton and Ward. The Broncos use 6 defensive backs the majority of the time in these passing situations, and what a great 3-and-out stop after the interception and costly penalty by Jones.
So this excellent punter for net punting, Huber, is going to try to pin Welker and the Broncos inside the 5. Kirkpatrick trying to run it down. He couldn't get to it. A flag is down back at the 12-yard line. As Darquez Denard and Kirkpatrick, two excellent gunners, were trying to get down there.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 36. It'll be 10-yard penalty from the 20-yard line. Denver keeps the ball. First down.
Denver starts at its own 10, 3 minutes into the fourth. Big kick of Manning in field goal range, but Nelson taunts along with Pac-Man, and it cost him the field goal range. To all of our Monday Night families back at home, thank you for keeping home going as we've enjoyed our wonderful tour on the road. 45th season of Monday Night Football with a great concluding act here in Cincinnati. Here goes Manning with C.J. Anderson. The penetration from Pecco forced him back. Anderson fights back to get a yard or two. So one more time, John, where the ball would have been. There's a tremendous play by Jones on the coverage and the interception that would have given the ball to Cincinnati inside the 25, somewhere in the neighborhood of a 42-yard field goal attempt if they didn't lose yardage, but it pushed them back instead. I said Nelson going to break because they announced number 20, Reggie Nelson, on the flag. It could have been a misidentified number. Jones was clearly waving at the sideline. Whatever. It was a without poise moment for the Bengals when they really needed to act like champs. From the 12, Manning. Good release there, Anderson. Short gain. One of the Bengals a bit shaken up. Vincent Ray getting up slow here, John. What about the change here in the second half for Denver's offense?
Again, it's the up-tempo of Peyton Manning, the no-huddle offense. It's eliminated the disguises by this Bengal defense. Let's see if the Broncos can continue to pass protect like they have in the third quarter, much improved from the first half. Dunlap needs to make his presence felt now.
Third and 5, Manning check to a run with Anderson, and what a play. What a play inside by Malaluga to limit the gain and force Denver 3 and out with 10.5 to go in the fourth.
That was a gutty call. Running the ball with Peyton Manning on 3rd and 5. Manning had the look he wanted. He expects to get 5 yards. When you run the ball against the soft box, you expect results.
And that double team had the other linebacker, Ray. That was going to gain some yards. Big stop there. Brandon Tate is back to get the Colquitt punt. Good hang time. Kick is 45. Tate from the 38. Picking up pucks. There goes Tate accelerating. Tate at the 30. Punter to beat. Down inside the 15.
Put the ball in the middle of the field. You're asking for trouble. Every time you see a big return in pro football, most of the time the ball lands in the middle of the field, and it's tough on your coverage units. Brandon Tate did it at North Carolina. He did it for Bill Belichick in New England, and he's still getting it done. Returning kicks for the Cincinnati Bengals.
John, Adam Jones rarely fair catches. Tate's the sure-handed catcher, so after the mistake Jones made, and with the rain, you wonder if that's what they wanted on the field, a sure-handed guy to catch it, because he has 13 of their 14 fair catches on punts. So he took that one, his longest punt return of the year. Means a net punt of -5, and Cincinnati with a great chance to retake the lead.
No A.J. Green. I'm loading up on the run if I'm Denver.
You with the fullback moves, leads for Hill. 2 to the 10.
There are no receiving threats other than Mohamed Sanu on the field for Cincinnati. If I'm Denver, I'm going to make Andy Dalton throw the ball to beat me.
Again, the urgency for the Bengals. Win and they're in the playoffs. If they lose, they've got to go to Pittsburgh, a game that's for the division anyway, but also could be to get into the postseason if they can't win here tonight. Gresham in motion. Hill is trying to pick through the middle. He's got a third down coming up. Inside of 9 left.
I think Hugh Jackson's going to call a bootleg with Andy Dalton. Field goal gives Cincinnati the lead. With Giovanni Bernard in the game, I expect a bootleg to Dalton's right.
Jack Del Rio next to John Fox. 2 former head coaches, Hugh Jackson, Jack Del Rio. Send in the signals for this key 3rd and 5. Dalton shovel pass, Bernard inside, only to the 5, 3 yards shy. Here comes a field goal attempt for Nugent. Again, Mike had a hamstring that started to bother him in the second half. We have an injury there for the Broncos. It's TJ Ward who's down. Been involved in so many big hits and plays here tonight, and Ward in a great deal of pain. See his head there as he got Bernard's shoulders square as he put the head down to tackle. Timeout. Coverage from Spider Cam tonight here in Cincinnati, brought to you by DirecTV. TJ Ward, the safety, was down for most of that timeout. The good news is he is getting up and being assisted and walking to the sideline. Concern there for a moment, lots of the players taking a knee. 4th down, Cincinnati will attempt a go-ahead field goal. Mike Nugent will do that. It's been a difficult couple of weeks for Mike. His dad, Daniel, passed away last week. I said he's from Centerville, Ohio. Just about 45 minutes down the road. This field goal for the lead. And Nugent, who would always text with his dad and get his messages before warm-ups, playing with a heavy heart the last couple of weeks, has made his 3rd field goal of the night and gives the Bengals a 2-point lead as we approach the halfway point here in the 4th quarter. Boy, John, it's Andy Dalton who has that 2-9 record pinned on him in these primetime games and playoff games for Cincinnati. But it's the whole team. It's the defense. It's Marvin Lewis, the head coach. It's A.J. Green. In this game, the resiliency, and again shown on this drive here, that the Bengals are giving tonight, help erase that and may get him a 4th postseason opportunity under Marvin Lewis.
This has been a good team for the last 3 or 4 years. They've been on the brink. But if you want to be a great team and you want to compete for championships, you have to win games like this at home. And it's going to go through Denver or at Pittsburgh for Cincinnati to get a ticket to the playoffs. There's a lot of pressure on them to win this game tonight. And if I'm Denver, I don't want it to come down to the Raiders next week either, because my old Oakland Raiders, they're playing pretty good football. They beat San Francisco, eliminated Buffalo yesterday, beat Kansas City,
right.
Playing good football down the stretch.
It ruined a lot of seasons, and John Fox knows that, and so does Peyton Manning. So this Denver team wants to take care of locking down that bye, because Peyton made the great point to me last night. You win this game tonight, the urgency is that bye is the same as a playoff win. It's one less game you have to play in the postseason, one more week to rest, which is so important for a player who's trying to become the oldest quarterback to win the Super Bowl. So much on the line here in the last half of this 4th quarter. Line drive kick, unreturnable. Bolden couldn't get his hands on it, and Denver takes over at the 20-yard line. Just for a point of clarification, John, before we go forward in the series, the NFL has an observer at every game, and they have confirmed to us that the taunting penalty was on Reggie Nelson, not Adam Jones. And just to be clear, that was not a misidentification. Both players were involved, but Nelson was the one who was flagged in that situation. 3 and out last series. Denver started the second half on fire. 3 straight touchdowns. His own 20, Manning. Crosser is the back, C.J. Anderson taken down. Gain of 5. Malaluga brings him down.
Now, Ray Malaluga, he takes a lot of criticism here in Cincinnati. I don't know why. He plays hard, and he never comes off the field. Nice job in the open field on that check down.
2nd and 6. Nothing open. Manning waiting, delivering. Julius Thomas couldn't bring it in before 3rd down. Here's Lisa.
Well, Mike, right now they're taking T.J. Ward back to the locker room. They're calling it a neck injury. His return is questionable. But the good news is that they took him off on a cart, but he was able to walk to the cart and get on it on his own back.
Live shot as he is pulled up that tunnel to be examined. Pretty loud, pretty big play. 3rd to half dozen.
Be surprised if Denver does not test Drake Kirkpatrick, the young corner at the bottom of the screen against Demarius Thomas.
Last hand signal to Demarius. Peyton looks that way, goes that way, got it that way, and Thomas on Kirkpatrick. Flag is down, though, right where they were battling and hand fighting, and it's on Thomas for offensive pass interference. That's the initial signal from the official coming in from the secondary. Here's Bill Vinovich.
That might be the worst call.
Prior to the pass, personal foul, face mask, offense number 88. 15-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
I didn't see anything. 15-yard penalty nullifies a 30-yard gain. Boy, oh boy. Third down and long.
Need to get to the 30 for the 1st down. 3rd and 18 for number 18. They do bring some pressure, and Manning gets hit and goes down. Taylor Mays got there.
Gotta credit Paul Gunther and his defensive coaching staff. 3rd down and long, you'd think they'd back off and play zone. They come with a zone pressure. You're gonna see Taylor Mays not on the screen here. There he is on the right side, I'm sorry. Unblocked on a delayed blitz, and down goes Peyton Manning.
First sack of his career. What a time to get it. It's a turnover and back-to-back 3 and outs for the Denver offense after they got so hot at the start of this half. Now Colquitt out of his own end zone. Tate waiting. Runs up to get a short kick. He'll let it go. And get away from it as it dies just on the other side of midfield. Inside of 6 minutes left. Flag down, back at the 13-yard line.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 30. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Cincinnati keeps the ball. 1st down.
The core special teamers, Cedric Pierman, pushing back to their own 40. The Bengals lead by 2, inside of 6 left. So the Bengals lead by 2. They have the ball at their own 40. Rain has fallen throughout this second half. Not the most heavy and steady dose we've had. The Bengals have run the ball effectively tonight. 32 rushes, nearly 200 yards. 85 of it coming on a Jeremy Hill first quarter touchdown. Trying to sustain some offense to keep it out of Manning's hands. Hill has to be very careful. Fumbled earlier, gain of 2 there. Let's go back to that key penalty, John, that face mask penalty on Demarius Thomas, working on Drake Kirkpatrick. So the left hand up there gets on the mask. And we saw from that other angle that Kirkpatrick's head came down a bit, and that's where the call was made by the official. It has to be one of those where he's got a better look at it than you see there. It was hard to detect looking at multiple angles, any contact on the mask. You saw it just briefly there, and then their bodies converge around the hand. 2nd and 8 throw for Dalton. Overthrown for Gresham. He went up to get it. Flag is down, but not back there where the reception of the contact was with Todd Davis.
It's like a late hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 76.
Marvin Austin.
Driving the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Marvin Austin.
Driving him into the ground is the call on that one.
Got to pull off the quarterback. Critical penalties, Mike.
Yeah.
One on Clady in the first half, nullified a huge gain. One on Demarius Thomas, it nullified another, and that one on Austin sets up Cincinnati for the knockout punch.
We're talking about big play with poise moments, not there for the Broncos. Austin, in that case, gets Cincinnati into Denver territory, and a good chase down tackle by Todd Davis on the stretch by Jeremy Hill. Davis, who's waived 4 times this year by New Orleans, popping in here with the injuries that they've had to Marshall and Trevathan, the linebacking core.
Injuries, they lost Nate Irving, Brandon Marshall, Danny Trevathan, Wesley Woodyard left. They're lucky that 53, Steven Johnson, and 51, Davis know their terminology. They're special teams linebackers that are pressed into service. And here's Jeremy Hill, who's fumbled 5 times, once earlier at the +5 yard line. Let's see if he can hang on to the ball.
Cincinnati going here with 6 offensive linemen to protect for Dalton, who throws incomplete. Sanu couldn't get it. Chris Harris Jr. there in the coverage in this now driving rainstorm with 4:18 to go.
Really like these 2 corners. Talib gives them a shutdown press corner, and Chris Harris got that $43 million contract extension for good reason. He's batted down 9 passes, over 50 tackles. He can play outside or inside. He's a very good corner. 3rd down and long. DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller.
Little throw. It's a short throw. It's Gresham who cannot stay in bounds, and that kills the clock with 4:14. And in these conditions, or even in dry conditions, way too far for a field goal. So the inability there to run the extra time, the incomplete pass, and then that play. Well, now that we're inside 5 minutes, left about 1:10 or so on the clock extra for Denver if they need it.
Plenty of time. Both teams have 3 timeouts left.
Kevin Hubert once again will try to pin Denver deep. Again, best net punter in the league. Excellent gunners on the edge. Been a couple of bad snaps in special teams. One, the first punt of the game, was a high snap. We'll let this clock run all the way down. See if they take the delay game of the 5 yards.
Delay game. Offense number 10. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So Kevin Huber, Cincinnati native, look up, go, hey, this is December. It's late December, December 22nd, Cincinnati. You got this pouring rainstorm here.
Some bad snaps tonight. Keep an eye on that, especially in these conditions.
Snap was good. End over end, tough to catch kick. Can they down it inside the 5? No. Darquez Denard tried to get there and could not. So Peyton Manning takes over at the 20. 4:14 to go. Trying to add to his NFL record of comebacks in the 4th quarter or overtime. Bye. Week off in the 1st round. Denver, if they can pull this out, down 2, gets that. Cincinnati on the other side get in the tournament, win a big game, prime time, big opponent on your home field, and not have to go on the road in week 17 to Pittsburgh and play a game to get into the playoffs. A lot on the line here in this final 4:14.
Well, to get what they want, they're going to have to stop One of the greatest crunch time quarterbacks ever. What a finish.
Struggled the last 3 possessions as Manning starts with Julius Thomas. The tight end gains 6.
And you see Thomas struggling with that ankle to change directions. He's good in a straight line, but there's just not that agility after the catch. He's fighting through it, but his route tree is limited because of that ankle.
Officially 7, 2nd and 3. Welker, Emmanuel Sanders with 2 touchdowns. Joint Thomas, bottom of the screen. Peyton crossing. Anderson, was he able to recatch it? Yes, he was. But you don't get any forward progress because that ball bounced up in the air, so it will be 3rd and 1.
Carlos Dunlap got off there, the ball, and he beat Vasquez quickly on the edge. Manning just got rid of this ball in time. They're going to need to get help against Carlos Dunlap. He's the one Cincinnati Bengal that can ruin this game for Denver.
It's 3rd and a long one. Fake to Anderson. Manning with the throw. It's intercepted. It's Kirkpatrick. It's a Bengal touchdown.
Total confusion. You rarely see that from Peyton Manning in these critical situations, but clearly complete confusion. Emmanuel Sanders and Peyton Manning. And Dre Kirkpatrick for the 2nd week in a row has an interception. And that might be the play that ignites the Cincinnati Bengals that has eluded them for a long time. A lot of first-round draft choices at cornerback. Kirkpatrick, another one. But Demaryius Thomas, I have no idea what he and Peyton Manning are thinking is supposed to happen there.
Nugent, big extra point. It makes it a 2-score game. A 9-point game. And the jungle is rocking on the first 3 interception game of the season for Peyton Manning.
Well, it's 3rd and 1, and he's looking for Demaryius Thomas on some kind of an arrow route. I think Manning's expecting Thomas to start inside, come back outside on the move. And I don't know if Thomas and Manning thought the same thing. Perhaps Peyton just missed the throw, but the look in Manning's eyes were of confusion. As soon as he let this ball go, something wasn't right. And Dre Kirkpatrick made him pay for it.
Kirkpatrick, who came in the game for Terrence Newman as they made a change at corner in this second half after Newman got beaten a couple of times. Kirkpatrick, twice a national champion at Alabama, gets Peyton for the pick. And Terrence Newman, who intercepted Johnny Football last week, gets Peyton Manning this.
Taking Kirkpatrick a while to come around. He's had some injury problems. Has regained his confidence, and Peyton Manning 3 interceptions tonight. That last one is going to send the Cincinnati Bengals to the playoffs.
Still 2:41 full complement of timeouts. Rare to see a game where Manning throws a pair. We'll go back the other way. That was the first return, or two pick sixes overall in the game, I should say, as Bolden takes it with a knee in the end zone for the touchback. You know, John, you think about what Denver did with those 3 possessions at the start of this second half and the touchdowns. But those last 4 possessions, Cincinnati made the adjustment. And credit Paul Gunther and the chess piece move. His defense responded to what Denver came out to do at the start of the second half.
Have to give him credit. The weather got worse and worse. And right now, Denver, 2 scores behind, needs to get the ball down the field and get a field goal or any kind of score to set up an onside kick to give themselves a chance.
Cincinnati taking a timeout here. Bengals had confusion going on their ends. They take a timeout with 2:41 to go.
But with three timeouts and the 2-minute clock stoppage, very important that Denver gets some kind of score. It can be a field goal to make it a 37-31 game, to give yourself a chance for an onside kick. Don't go anywhere with Manning. He's done some crazy things on Monday Night Football, but you see what Marvin Lewis did. He took a timeout, make sure he had 11 of the proper men that he wants for this situation. You can use your timeouts on defense as well to make sure you have fresh pass rushers. Make sure everybody is fresh and ready to rush Peyton Manning and end this football game with their defense, and Carlos Dunlap is the man to do it.
You got Thomas over here, the tight end. See if he nudges him on the way out. Nope, straight pass rush, and he got to him. A sack. Back to the 15-yard line, right around Vasquez again.
It's about time Dunlap turns his game on. If Cincinnati wants to be a great team, Dunlap has to carry him with his edge pass rush skills. Vasquez can't handle him in one-on-one situations. He needs some help.
So you got even wider here to come after him this time. Manning throws. Anderson collects it out of the backfield, trying to get a block downfield. Anderson, the 35-yard line. They gain 20, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Denver needs to score twice. They're down 9. 2 minutes left.
Hiya, folks. Steve Levy in for Stuart Scott here in Cincinnati. Just trying to help out some of the locals. It's what we do on the GMC postgame report, which is coming up. Highlights, analysis, reaction. I'll be joined by the fellas, Ray Lewis, Trent Dill for Steve Young. We'll have plays of the week and details and highlights of the third highest scoring bowl game in college football history, and a nasty brawl that broke out. All coming up on SportsCenter after the game. All dry down here. Mike and John, up to you.
Kind of gentlemen of you leave. Share the umbrella. Checking with everybody after the game and the ramifications that will set up week 17. No challenges. We're inside of 2 minutes now. Manning, the crosser, Thomas can't hang on in these wet conditions.
Treacherous down there, and Emmanuel Sanders not in the football game. Cody Latimer, number 14, a rookie out of Indiana, at the top of the screen. And Cincinnati's playing a lot of zone coverage. They're going to force Manning to throw the ball underneath and keep this clock going.
Latimer has just one catch on the season. Manning's pressured, gets contacted as he throws. Welker with the catch. Manning got knocked down by Dunlap again. Minute 45 left in regulation.
I'm just shocked that Denver has not put a back or a tight end, somebody over there to nudge Carlos Dunlap, who has ruined the latter part of this game for Denver.
Manning left. Anderson trying to get to the sideline, and does. As Adam Jones is pulling his jersey. 1:28 to go. Again, a field goal is an option here, just to try to make it a one-score game. Give yourself time with an onside kick. But again, the rainy conditions make the field goal operation a little bit more difficult. And remember, Denver missed one right before the end of the half. Rain teeming down now. Heaviest of the night. Manning to Tammy. Incomplete. And John, you watch the offensive line play. You see just defensive linemen pushing the guards right back into Manning's area. He can't step up and throw.
Footing is bad also. When you can't step up and finish on your front foot, it's going to be hard to throw the ball. But power rushes, people landing around the feet of Peyton Manning, pouring down rain, difficult to throw strikes.
That was one of your favorites, Geno Atkins, the defensive tackle. Walked the guard right back into Manning's lap. 3rd and 4, they'll run to get the first down, and Anderson has a bunch of room. Oh, and he almost broke free. Still on his feet inside the 20 to the 19.
I want to take a timeout and kick a field goal.
27-yard gain. Those two missed tackles were big.
It's a soft coverage box. Manning goes to the old one-back power play. You're going to get a double team at the point of attack. Orlando Franklin against Taylor Mays, and that's a great effort by C.J. Anderson. 5'9", 230 pounds. Tough man to bring down, low center of gravity. Let's see what John Fox does. He needs 2 scores. Might want to take a couple quick shots to the end zone and then kick the field goal.
Yeah, being down here inside the 20 because of those 2 timeouts just does give you 1 or 2 more options. And again, Latimer, the second-round pick, Dayton, Ohio native, is going to be at the top of the numbers at the top of your screen. The 19. Manning, incomplete or intercepted? Incomplete. They say Kirkpatrick was out. Very close as he went to the ground, trying to come up with the closing interception. He was looking up at the big board for the replay.
Hey, look at this. I thought he had control.
It was knees down. Yeah, that should be a pick. Again, last 2, you don't challenge. It has to be stopped from upstairs for a look. Possession, knee down, ball seems not to come down. Go all the way through. Does he maintain control through the process?
The ruling on the field is a catch and interception. Cincinnati, first down.
He's got it, he's down. He's got multiple body parts down there, the knee and the elbow and everything else. And now they've changed it to an interception, as you heard Bill Vinovich say.
Yeah. Previous plays under review.
If there's any doubt, that's a game-changing interception. The second one of the night for Dre Kirkpatrick.
As we were going to break, the only question was, did he continue to maintain possession through the process going to the ground? It seems like all of the necessary boxes are checked for a game-ending interception by Kirkpatrick. Catch, knee, elbow, hip down to the ground. Possession all the way through, and it would be the 4th interception for Manning, the 3rd in this 4th quarter.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's interception. First down.
What a job by Dre Kirkpatrick. Terrence Newman had his struggles tonight, coming back off that injury. They put him on the bench. They put in young Dre Kirkpatrick, and boy, was he ready when opportunity knocked.
255 games, 5 with 4 or more interceptions. First time as a Bronco, first time since 2010. There's been miscommunication on a few of these. So Cincinnati leads by 9. Denver can stop it twice with 1:07 left. Give to Hill. He should just get down inbounds there. Give himself up at the 19. And force Denver to use that second timeout, which they get here. The clock's still running now. They get the clock stopped. And they'll put a few seconds back on. You can see through the face mask that smile of Andy Dalton with good reason. It's not stats that are going to win many fantasy games. It's not stats that are going to get you in the Hall of Fame. But the big wins in the primetime games and the playoff games has been something hanging over this team. This is a huge one for Cincinnati and their quarterback in his 4th year.
He's got to be mentally tough, Mike.
John, what's it all about? Come in the league and lead your team to the playoffs, and most consecutive seasons to start your career. Legends like Otto Graham, Bernie Kosar are both doing it here in the state of Ohio. Joe Flacco came right in the league in this division. Pat Hayden did it with the Rams as he came out of SC, and now Andy Dalton added to that list as Cincinnati's about to clinch a playoff berth for the 4th consecutive year.
Mike, he's been through a lot here. A lot of people said, we should have taken Colin Kaepernick. We're not good enough to do this. He's just hung in there, kept playing, and Cincinnati's going to the playoffs for the 4th straight year under Marvin Lewis is quite an accomplishment. And they're doing it without A.J. Green. They did it without Vontaze Burfict, their best linebacker. We saw Terrence Newman come out of the game. They're missing a lot of other linebackers. It's a credit to these Cincinnati Bengals and the depth that they put together over the last few years.
And this means a lot. Not just are they in the playoffs. New England locks up the number 1 seed. Pats don't have to play for anything next week against Buffalo. And Cincinnati's still alive for the number 2 seed. If they beat Pittsburgh, not only do they win the division, but if Oakland beats Denver, then Cincinnati could get a bye here. So a huge game for Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in the playoffs. And spot 5 in the tournament has been taken. And who days what they say here with good reason. The Bengals back in the playoffs. Wraps up season 45 of Monday Night Football. We'll see you for a wild card game in about a dozen days. John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Roth, with director Chip Dean, Mike Tirico. The GMC postgame on SportsCenter starts now.